always saying, and you especially don't check people's dreams, people have there's too much opinions. But if we don't have opinions and we don't have any kind of view of the world, how can we act? What is it? You say we just stick and we know the situation, but three people can have other understanding of the situation and they can act totally different. So how do I know that my don't check in or?
Well, that's when the silence, like this morning sitting, the first time I got to sit with you this morning. And I don't think that people have a lot of different opinions. There was nothing going on. There's some occasional bird sound and a bell sound on the ground floor. And everybody just sat in silence. And so there was no different opinion. There was just that. Now you might have conditioning in your brain where you're checking and you're making things and you're holding things that's going on. And then our teaching is to go back to just to hear the 10% of the bell, the birds, see the floor, be with, who's with. And so this promotion of Zen practice, which we, all of us in here do this, is to help you see your mistake or see what you're holding, see what you're checking, see what you're making. And so if you're in a meeting, for example, and it's funny because when we talk about peace activists, people that they get together, have a meeting, how they're going to, then they start fighting with each other. There's all these different opinions. Now, I say, hypothetically, if they had a clear practice, a very clear practice of clear listening, clear being with, and they would listen to each other. They could have the meeting ordered in a way that, sometimes you sit in a circle and you pass, this is your turn to speak, and then you have to pass the stick to the next one, it's their turn to speak. And you listen, you spend the first half of the meeting, not cross-talking, but just listening. So there's ways that this can be enhanced. And so obviously, if you see suffering in the world and you want to march about it, you want to make a statement, you want to have a movement, you want to have people that are all together in the same movement. If you've had these clear meetings, and then you're going to have a very clear movement. It's going to do the best it can. It's going to be added. I forgot what you asked. Like, you're supposed to see thing you asked for somebody out of the way.
Yeah, I think you're the same.
Okay. Yeah, and then you just do it till you die. It's like we have this idea of winning and losing, but ultimately, if your vow and your direction are really clear, and you're for what and for whom is very clear. And I said this to somebody, I think this weekend, like somebody shot Gandhi right in the gut. He was just like such a nice guy, really. I mean, as far as his vow and his direction and how he worked so hard for what he believed in. And then towards the end of his life, he just gets shot and murdered like that. Like, what the hell? But he didn't, I think, I've seen the film of it, and he just did this gesture. He just did this gesture. Mm-hmm. He didn't look angry. He was shocked, I was sure, but he did this and said, I won't finish. And then what does that consciousness, this man's consciousness, it's working for nonviolence all his life and is killed so violently publicly like that. What happens to that consciousness? Is he going to hold? Is he going to check? Is he going to make it? Or is he just going to respond and respond with that gesture? And so never giving up that peace, just keep trying. And so we're so limited in what we understand. We're so limited that, and like, oh, what a shame that he had to end his life like that. We don't know. We don't know. And in his life, then, how does that effort that he made extend beyond his body? Again, we don't intellectually understand. We don't. But each one of us can say, sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Like, When I bow every morning, I always say that the first 4 vows, I say that. If the first one is that you means an emerald vow to save them all. They're such beautiful vows, the teachings are infinite. I bow to